Hello everyone, this is Sonic Dude Prime and welcome back to another video. And today is going to be an awesome video because today I'll be reviewing a video game. But not just any video game, a Sonic game. After playing the crap that was Spirit Lucky's Big Adventure, I thought it would be a good idea to give my fans a review of an actual good game. And today's game review is on Sonic Generations. So yeah, let's get this review started. So Sonic Generations is a video game to celebrate 20 years of Sonic the Hedgehog. Released for the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and PC, later on the 3DS apparently, which I've also played, but I'll talk about that version in a bit. So anyways, we start out, surprisingly, not with a cutscene, but in Green Hill Zone Act 1. And I gotta say, classic Sonic moves fantastic in my opinion. When you hold down the X button on the Xbox controller, he sort of has a little boost, which is like a spin dash, but it gives him a boost. But he does have the spin dash too. So yeah, this is really good. Classic Sonic's controls are good. And I've got to say, I really love the level design for Green Hill Zone Act 1. They really went out all. Really just went out on this stage. The enemies, you know, they're trying to get you. You gotta get the rings and all. And this stage is surprisingly easy to get an S rank on. Which you get an S rank based on your time, not scores surprisingly. But that's okay. You know, I managed to get the S ranks in some stages. But yeah. And so, after completing Act 1, we have our first cutscene which shows classic Sonic running in Green Hill Zone. But then, this giant purple monster thing comes out of the sky, and it captures classic Sonic. After completing Green Hill Zone Act 1, we see classic Sonic running. But while he is running, he encounters this purple monster thing. After that, we see a surprise birthday party for Sonic being set up by his friends. Then Tails arrives saying Sonic is about to arrive. And they all surprise him and Sonic gets a birthday chili dog. And he tries to eat it, but Amy keeps trying to get to him. So he's trying to push her out of his way so he can enjoy his chili dog. So then, the party is interrupted by the giant purple monster. And it captures all of Sonic's friends, and even Sonic himself after he attempts to rescue his friends. And then, Sonic wakes up in a plain white void. And this is where we enter Green Hill Zone Act 2, where we play as Modern Sonic. So, Modern Sonic, he controls it very well too. If you hold down the back triggers of the Xbox controller, and use the left stick, you can do a drift in the 3D sections of the level. And Sonic has his boost and home attack. And they all work pretty well. But there will be times that when you try to jump with either classic or modern Sonic, you'll mess up. But it's not really that bad. So anyways, after completing Green Hill Zone Act 2, we freed Tails. And he tells Sonic thank you. And Tails spots the chemical planet, which he tells Sonic he should check it out. So Sonic goes to check it out, but then classic Sonic shows up, and Tails gets confused. He wonders why did Sonic come back all of a sudden. But then classic Sonic heads towards the chemical plant. And that's where we can see the hub world. So let me talk about the hub worlds real quick. They're important for this game. So the hub world is important in this game because it helps you get to stage to stage. So this is where we can enter the chemical plant. I started off with Act 1, of course. Then I made my way towards Act 2. And chemical plant does have the underwater thing, so you better get those air bubbles. And this stage can be a little frustrating, but it won't be as long if you know where to jump and all that. So after playing through chemical plant, we free Amy, and she tells Sonic thank you. So let me say this real quick. When you free one of Sonic's friends, and I wish I can show this, but since I completed the game, I can't. But they'll notice a difference. If you play as Classic Sonic, let's use Knuckles as the example. If you play as Classic Sonic and rescue Knuckles, he'll ask Classic Sonic if he gained weight. And if you play as Modern Sonic, Knuckles said, he'll just basically say that he wouldn't need any help back there. He's just happy to have a sanctuary back. So there are differences if you rescue one of Sonic's friends as Classic or Modern Sonic. So after playing through Chemical Plant, we play Sky Sanctuary, where of course I played Sky Sanctuary Act 1 first, then Act 2. And I gotta say, Act 1 kind of frustrated me a little bit, but Act 2 was better for me. And after playing through Sky Sanctuary, we rescue Knuckles, who tells Sonic thank you. And the lines will be different if you use either Classic or Modern Sonic for any of the friends. But anyways, he tells one of the Sonics thank you, and then you can move on. But here's the thing. So in order to move on with the boss fight, you have to grab 3 boss gate keys by doing 3 missions. While you're at it, you will either find Metal Sonic, Shadow, and Silver. These are the rival battles. And well, you gotta do them to get the Chaos Emeralds, so that's the way you can have the Chaos Emeralds for the story. So that's the way you can do the final boss. So after doing 3 missions, you'll get 3 boss gate keys. And after you get all 3 boss gate keys, you can continue on and play the game and continue the story. So after doing the missions to get the 3 boss keys, we do the first boss fight, which is the Death Egg robot from Sonic the Hedgehog 2. So when we enter this boss fight, we will have a cutscene. So the cutscene is where Sonic is in a mirror-like setting. And then when he is near the mirror, he sees Classic Sonic. But then when he hears Dr. Eggman, Classic Sonic runs out. And he goes through the little mirror portal thing. And Modern Sonic just sits there after getting knocked out by the portal mirror. Or the mirror portal, whatever you want to call it. And that's when we do the Death Egg robot boss. And this boss is pretty easy and pretty fun. First you gotta hit the boss a few times. And then, we have to basically use these little I don't know what they're called. I think they're like little fire bomb things or something, which if the robot's hand hits them, you have to get on the robot's hand and jump on the robot's head. And after hitting him a few times, the Dr. Eggman gets captured by the purple monster thing. And he begs Sonic for help. So after that, this is where we have the next cutscene, where Sonic says, "I can't believe there's 2 of me." And Tails and Classic Tails confirm that they're traveling through time through space. And they think because of that, That's what captured and frees their friends because of the purple monster. After finding that out, Classic Sonic and Modern Sonic go through the other stages. And these stages are from, for what I heard, they're called the Dreamcast era. So let's get started with Speed Highway from Sonic Adventure. And I've played the game before, but it's the DX Director's Cut on GameCube, and it's pretty fun. But anyways, you have to do Act 1, or Act 2, you can choose, but I started off with Act 1 first. And this stage can be a little frustrating, but again, it's really not that difficult, and it's pretty fun. And I like the music. They remixed some of the music for this game, and you can actually change music and stages, which is a nice little touch. So after Act 1, I did Act 2, and I gotta say, Act 2 was probably my favorite of Speed Highway, because you just get to boost around with Modern Sonic and Drift, and do the Quick Step, which is another ability he has when you play as the Modern Sonic in the Modern Sonic stages. And after that, we free Cream. And then, well, we do the next stage. And oh boy, did I love the next stage after Speed Highway. After Speed Highway, we get to do City Escape from Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. And boy oh boy, do I love this stage. It's one of my favorites for sure. So of course I started out with Act 1. And actually, the City Escape Act 1 on Sonic Generations is actually the main theme for the current intro I'm using. It's the ending of the song though. But this song is fire! Not also that, you get to dodge the gun truck, which chases you at the end of City Escape in Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. And you'll have to jump on platforms to avoid it too. And I gotta say, this stage was so much fun. I really enjoyed this stage. Then in Act 2, we get to ride the board from Sonic Adventure 2 Battle at the beginning of City Escape. And now you can boost with it and jump on ramps, do sweet tricks and all that. And of course, just like in the original stage from Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, the truck will chase you. And it even goes on buildings, and it's wild. And you can hold down the boost, so you'll be okay. And the music. I love City Escape. It's music. Escape from the City. It's a good song. So yeah, City Escape, perfect. It was just perfect. I just gotta clap for it. Ooh, I really love that stage. So yeah, City Escape, it was a fun stage to play. And after freeing Rouge and City Escape, we can move on to Seaside Hill from Sonic Heroes. And this stage is pretty fun, but it does have the underwater thing, so you'll have to get air bubbles. And I gotta say, Seaside Hill Act 1 frustrated me a little bit, but it was still easy. And Act 2 was pretty fun. All I did was like boost on the water at the beginning with the boost button, got rings and get on land, and completed the rest of the stage. And after that, bada bing bada boom, we free SBO. Yeah, SBO. So after that, we can see that the Sonics have restored some of the world. And the Tails and the Sonics, they spot the purple monster. And after explaining that the monster's the reason why everything's in a white limbo, the Tails figure out that when the Sonics accelerate through time into space, they restored the world. So that's a good story plot if you ask me right there. And the story is actually really good. You know, get to see Modern Sonic meet his younger self. So after that, we have to do missions again, and we can do a little rival boss fight with Shadow, which after getting some energy orbs, we have to quick step to some boulders so we can get them and aim them and fire them towards Shadow. And after firing the boulders towards Shadow, we win. And we get a Chaos Emerald after that. So after doing that and getting free boss gate keys, we move on to the next boss. So the next boss is Perfect Chaos from Sonic Adventure, or of course, Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut. And this boss is actually pretty fun, but I gotta warn you, you have to hold down the boost button with like most of the stage, because you just can't walk on the water, or Sonic will fall off and you'll lose the boss fight. So make sure you get rings, do tricks and all that. And yeah. And speaking of the tricks can help Sonic get more boost, which is pretty helpful. Well, for modern Sonic, he has the tricks. But anyways, the Perfect Chaos fight is pretty fun, but you could probably hear that I'm using the Nate Wants to Battle version of Open Your Heart instead of the remix. But I'll put a link to the remix for Open Your Heart from this boss fight in the link down below. So yeah, go check that out in the Nate Wants to Battle version too. So yeah, do that. So after completing the boss fight, the Sonics and the Tails figure out that they'll need all 7 Chaos Emeralds to restore the world. And this is basically every Sonic game. But that's okay, because the Chaos Emeralds do come in handy when they need them the most, especially in the most craziest situations. So, after figuring out they need the 7 Chaos Emeralds, we move on to what I believe is called the modern Sonic era. So, the first stage in the modern era of Sonic and Sonic Generations is Crisis City from Sonic 06. And I did Act 1 first, of course, and completed the stage. But I got a little bit frustrated, because there's this one section of the game that you gotta do platforming on. You have to avoid the fire tornado because it will suck you up to the air, and then the wind will try to knock you off the platform and like knock you off the stage. And yeah, it frustrated me a little bit, but managed to pull through. And yeah, Act 2, it was a breeze as well. Nothing really annoyed me on there. It was just, you know, dodging the fire and make sure I home attacked at the right time. So after completing Crisis City, we free Blaze, and after Crisis City, we get to play Rooftop Run from Sonic Unleashed. So I did Act 1, of course, got a little frustrated because of that one barrel section, and you get this, all you just gotta do in this one section, just time your jumps right. And it was just a breeze. Act 2, it was just a breeze for me too, because all I did was drift, quick sidestep, no boost, all that home attack. And then, after Rooftop Run, I did my favorite stage in this game, Planet Wisp from Sonic Colors. The remix songs for Act 1 and 2 were just awesome. And Sonic Colors is my favorite Sonic game, so I was really glad I was able to play this stage. So in Act 1, when you play as Classic Sonic, you'll get the Spikes Wisp, which will stick to walls. And it was just easy to use that Wisp. I did lose rings while playing Act 1, but it wasn't that bad. And then, Act 2, we boost around, of course, and that's where we can use the Rocket Wisp, which will just rocket you towards the air. And it was a little frustrating, but it wasn't as frustrating like Act 1 of Crisis City and Rooftop Run. So anyways, did the 2 acts, and then we had the cutscene where they get the emerald to defeat the purple monster, and restore the world. And after that, gotta do the missions, but I already did them, so we can move on. So, after I did the missions, I did the silver boss fight, rival boss fight, where you just basically just gotta home attack him and dodge his moves. And so after I got the Chaos Emerald from doing that silver boss fight, I did the Egg Dragoon boss from Sonic Unleashed. He was a little frustrating for me to do, but I managed to defeat him, and he was easy. So yeah, that was fun. You know, it was fun to like skydive and home attack him too. But you gotta watch out though, because he will throw a little drill thing at you, so you better like watch out. He'll also throw like fire and ice, like snowballs and just fire beams and all that. But you know, if you just do it right, just you'll win. You'll win. You'll win. So after that, we can move on, and this is where we get towards the end. So after freeing Charmy and Planet Wisp and doing the Egg Dragoon boss, we have to go to the end of the hub world. And there's this giant clock thing. And once you have all 7 Chaos Emeralds, you have to use the like little platforms on this giant clock thing, and make sure you put all the Chaos Emeralds in there so you can do the final boss. So when you do the final boss, it will show you the cutscene of the heroes entering this weird dimension world thing, and everything's just purple and stuff. So it turns out Dr. Eggman was not alone. He was in all this entire time. But he had his younger self, Dr. Robotnik. But he said, no one calls me that anymore. So Eggman and his younger self, they used the giant purple monster, which is called the Time Eater. And the Time Eater hurts modern and classic Sonic with its big hands. So then all of Sonic's friends start cheering for him, and classic Sonic. And after that, the Chaos Emeralds got around, and modern and classic Sonic goes Super Sonic. And that's where we do the final boss.
Scramble some Eggman, Super Sonic style!
So, after the super transformation, we can do the final boss. And the final boss, it's pretty simple. All you gotta do is like dodge his attacks like his hands, and he'll even do some slow motion with these like slow motion clock things. So all you gotta do is make sure that you boost into his core a few times. And make sure you get some rings, because your rings will go down. So after that, and after hitting the boss a few times, he'll throw this giant fireball at you, and you gotta use the triggers on your controller. Hold them down, and make sure you hold them down after getting rid of the fireball on his core, and bada bing bada boom, you'll defeat the boss just like that. And after that, peace is restored. Sonic and his friends are back at his birthday party, and after that, well, modern Sonic and modern Tails bid a farewell to classic Sonic and classic Tails, and they go back to their dimension. After that, the credits roll, and I just skipped the credits. All I did was hold on the A button to make them go faster. But the song is pretty nice though. But after the credits, we see the 2 Eggmen. They fight about the plan and stuff, figure out there's no time. And all they do is just sit back and relax and talk to each other. And yeah, that's the end of the story. So now I'm going to talk about the 3DS version of the game. So the 3DS version of Sonic Generations was done by Dims, who did the daytime stages for the Wii version of Sonic Unleashed in the handheld Sonic games. So classic Sonic, he controls fine, almost about the same, but a little different from the console version. And modern Sonic, he doesn't have the trick system, but he still has his, like the basic, boost and home attack. And unlike the console version, you have to unlock his stomp ability, but that's fine. And you can actually unlock the home attack for classic Sonic in both versions of the game. You just gotta collect red rings for the home attack for classic Sonic on the console version, but you have to complete a stage to unlock the home attack for him. So of course we start out in Green Hill Zone from the first Sonic game. Then there will be some special stages, which are just recreations from the special stages from Sonic Heroes. And all you gotta do is just hold down the boost button and get the Chaos Emeralds before they run away from you. So, there's different stages actually in the 3DS version. The same ones from the console version, they're not here. Instead, for Sonic 2, we have Casino Night Zone, and then from Sonic 3 and Knuckles we have Mushroom Hill Zone, and then from Sonic Adventure we have Emerald Coast. From Sonic Adventure 2 Battle we have Radical Highway. And we got Water Palace from Sonic Rush and Tropical Resort from Sonic Colors, which is my favorite stage in the game, of course. And in the 3DS version, for the classic Tropical Resort stage for classic Sonic, we have the Burst Wisp. And for Act 2, we had the Laser Wisp. So, yeah, in the boss fight, for the final boss, it's a bit different. I'll get to that in a bit. So let's talk about the rival battles. All they are just races. All you gotta do is win a race. Easy as that. Win a race. But then there are the actual boss battles though. We got Big Arms from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. The Bio Lizard from Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. And the Egg Emperor, I believe, from Sonic Heroes. And then the Time Eater, which the whole thing is in 3D after, well, okay, let me say this. You have to do a 2D section, but like you'll be doing a lot of 3D if you know what you're doing. And yeah, the 3DS version is kind of difficult for the final boss, because you have to dodge clocks. They won't slow you down, but if you hit one, they'll send you back. And this dude has like lasers and all that, and you can boost or home attack to defeat him. And after that, same thing, but we have for the credits we have different levels. And the only one from the console version of the 3DS version, is this Green Hill Zone. So yeah, and actually, all the classic Sonic levels on the 3DS versions are just the same layout as the Sega Genesis games, so that's cool, I guess. And now I'm going to talk about the last part, which is only for the console version of Sonic Generations. So, after completing the final boss on the console version of Sonic Generations, you could probably see by some footage, but if you click the Y button on some stages, you can play as Super Sonic. And let me tell you, his rings go down slower on the final boss, but when you actually play them on these other stages, they go down way faster. When you press the boost button as modern Super Sonic, they drain down even faster. For classic Sonic, for the Super Sonic, his rings go down fast too, but not as fast as modern Super Sonic. And I do prefer playing Super Sonic in Sonic Colors, but hey, he's fun in Generations too. And I really did enjoy playing with the two Super Sonics. But yeah, that's cool. I think that's a nice little touch to the game. So, my final thoughts on Sonic Generations: 10 out of 10. It's a fun game, and I totally recommend it. So yeah everyone, hope you all enjoyed this review, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.